I'm Tom Burns and I'm making my sourdough. Making 4 loaves today, as usual. Got 400 grams of my sourdough starter, 32 grams of salt, 1800 grams of all-purpose flour from Costco, and I got my water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix the salt and water and flour together and let that rest for 30 minutes. Got our all-purpose flour. Add the water. And the salt. Now we mix. And we just want to make sure all the flour gets wet. Nice and evenly. And now we cover it up and wait about 30 minutes. So this flour, water, and salt has been sitting for about 30 minutes, and now it's time to add the starter. So I'm just going to dump it in there. Scrape out the rest of it. Now I just mix it up. All right, looks like that is good and mixed. Now I'm just going to clean off the spatchy spatch. To easily clean off the spatchy spatch, all I do is I get my hands a little bit wet and just scrape it off. And now it's done. So now we just let this sit for 2 hours. Time has passed, so now it's time to fold the dough. All I'm doing is reaching down to the bottom, stretching it out, and folding it. Turn in, reach to the bottom, stretch, and fold. So I just do this all the way around until I do it all. And that's good enough. So now we wait another 2 hours. All right, it's been another 2 hours, so it's time to do another stretch and fold. Now, to make this easier, I do have a wet hand when I'm using. Stretch it and fold it. Stretch and fold it. You know, making this YouTube dough. All right, now we let it sit for an hour. And after that hour, it's time to shape it. Of just resting, so now it's time to check out the dough and shape it. Ooh, as you can tell, there's some nice big bubbles in there. Bloop, bloop. All right, so to shape it, I need a knife. All right, to shape the dough, first I sprinkle the John Boo's block with some flour. Go in here and I gotta separate this dough into 4 equal pieces, and I have a scale to help me out with that. So I pull it out, give it a cut. Ooh, right on the money, 8.69. That's good for a loaf. So I got a bowl scraper here, and I'm just gonna scrape it out onto the John Boo's block. Now it's time to shape. What I like to do is get the underside all nice and floured so it's easy to use. Kind of stretch it out. And now I'm gonna kind of fold it on itself. The whole purpose of this is to create that tension on the outside. Now I just gotta shape it into a ball. And then I set it aside. It's time for the next one. Gotta get my hand wet. Sprinkle some flour on top of them all. Rub it in a bit. Now, we let them rest for an hour. All right, it's been an hour. Time to do the final shape and pack them up for the fridge. So here they are, flattened out a bit, ready to be shaped one more time. So it's basically the same thing as the last step, except for I don't have to weigh them. So the biggest problem I've been running into with making 4 loaves of bread is just space. But I've learned to manage, and hopefully very soon I'll have a new and improved space to use. Look at that bubble. Take some flour, sprinkle it in. Now, I can't really tell you why I'm doing certain things because I really don't know why I sometimes use my hands or sometimes use the blade. It's kind of just a feeling that I have. Then I sprinkle some flour on the other side. Now I put them in some plastic bags. Now they just chill out overnight. And in the morning, I pull them out of the refrigerator and I bake them in the oven. All right, now that it is the morning, it's time to take our loaves out of the refrigerator and score them and put them in the oven. These have been sitting in the refrigerator overnight. And they are ready to be put on some parchment paper and put into the Dutch ovens. I do not have actual proofing baskets, so what I'm using are bowls and some cloth. So I do a crisscross pattern. If you watch other YouTube channels, they use a nice razor blade. I'm just using a knife. It works. As far as the oven temp goes, I don't know how hot that is, but luckily I have a thermometer. And then you just put them in there and they sit for 20 minutes. All right, 20 minutes is up. Now I come in, take the lids off, take a peek, see what they look like. Look good so far. It's hot in there. So now I turn the temperature down to that spot and set it for another 20 minutes. All right, so they should be done. Let's take a look. That is the final temperature. Looking pretty good. So now I just take them out. And you put them next to the rest of them. Save these for the next ones. Make sure everything's off. And you can let them cool. And now for the favorite part about the bread, it's delivery. Put it on the fire extinguisher, and then you walk away, and then wait for Amy to come out. Hi, Amy. And she picks up her bread.
Oh, it's still warm. Thanks for the bread, Tom.
I hope you enjoyed learning about how I make my sourdough. And what I learned is that editing a YouTube video much harder than making sourdough. Hope you enjoyed it. Click that like button. Subscribe if you want more. Have a good one.